College Virtual Tour. My name is Janet Thompson. I am the CEO and co-founder of the Mamie Keith and Aline Bradley Educational Foundation, also known as Educate Our Youth. Educate Our Youth is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to make college more accessible through education, through professional development, mentoring, and any other means available through certain programs that we offer, which is ACT, SAT workshops. We offer college tours. We offer assistance with applying for financial aid. We offer financial literacy, academics over athletes, mentoring, and tutoring. Our guest this afternoon is Mr. Matthew Wade, admission counselor from South Carolina State University. Good evening, Mr. Wade.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, great. You had a good day today?
I did, I did.
So tell
Outside of
me,
the weather, but it was
what do you say now? I can't hear you.
outside of the weather being a little chilly today, it was fine.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I love cold weather. So anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, my name is Matthew Wade, like she said. I am originally from Beaufort, South Carolina, on the water, the coast.
Okay.
And I found my way to Orangeburg, where I reside now. I came to SC State University in 2011 for my undergraduate degree, and I ended up graduating. I went on and got my master's from Purdue University, and
Okay.
started working at State in the housing department. And I moved on, and now I'm in admissions, and so it's cool.
Okay, sounds great. So tell me a little something about the admission process to South Carolina State. My oldest son attended there years ago, so I'm sure things have changed. So kind of enlighten us on what the process is.
Okay, so we want to make sure that we are very relevant with the time today. We all know that this is a time heavy on social media, technology, and stuff. And so, one of the biggest things that we're pushing now is to make sure that the application is done online. So, we have online. You can do that from a computer. You can do it from your phone, and
Okay.
submit the application online and all the great stuff. So we do have paper apps, but like I said, we're trying to make sure that we push the application online. It's so much easier. And even for the students, I've gone to fairs and told the students about doing the application on the phone. And this is all you see all the time. I'm done.
Oh,
So,
okay. So
but
they
I
mostly,
go ahead.
so you said they mostly do application online instead of mailing in the hard copies.
Right, right. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Do it online, and then from there, after you finish the application, from there you submit your transcripts to our email address, which is admissions@scsu.edu. Some people have gotten their guidance counselors to send that over, but even if you have the transcript yourself, you can do it that way as well. I know some guidance counselors, they're using Parchment, so we do use Parchment as well, so you can go that route as well.
Oh, okay. There's not an audition to enter South Carolina State? Is there some colleges require you to audition or to do essays? Is that a requirement with SCSU?
So it is not a requirement. The only thing that we require, there are certain things that we look for on your transcript. So we'll start with transcript.
Okay.
When I look at transcripts, I'm looking for 4 Englishes, 4 math,
Mm-hmm.
3 sciences, 3 social studies, um, 2 foreign languages. They have to be the same. So there has to be the Spanish one, Spanish two, or French one, French two, like that. A
Okay.
PE course, um, art course, a music course, one of those either ors, and you'll be fine. If you have those, you're one step closer to being accepted. Another thing that we look for as it relates to test scores. Um,
Hmm.
if we before COVID-19, we were looking for test scores. So
Yes.
if you were taking the SAT, you needed a 900. One thing that was great for a lot of students, if you did not have a 900 on your SAT, but you had a 3.0 and higher, we could still admit you. That was a good thing.
Okay.
If you take the ACT, your score had to be at least a 17 or higher as well.
Oh,
But
okay.
the good thing about COVID-19, even though none of us like it, is it allowed us to help a lot of people out. And so we waived the test scores. So the test scores are not needed at the moment. So what you would do is just do your application online and submit your transcripts. And if it's in line with what we asked for, then we can admit you.
So so talk to me about student services. What's available for the students once they arrive on campus?
There's so much available for students. I wish I had took heed of that when I was in school, but that's another story. So
Okay.
much. They offer so much, all the way going from tutoring sessions. There's an application that you can use through the portal that we use on campus called Bulldog Connection that will allow you to get help in some of the classes that you need. Um, outside of educational realm, there's a career center where you can go and you can get help with learning how to build a resume. If you need a job on campus, if you need a job outside of campus during the summer, those things are available to you. Even going beyond that, we have where you can connect with people for programs on campus. So if you want to, from student services, you want to connect with on campus programs and all that stuff with student affairs, you can connect with them as well. So it pushes you to see all of the programs that we have, like gospel choir, concert choir, the band, which we'll talk about later. So many things. There's so many things for the students on campus. You just, as a freshman, you just have to make sure that you really receive what they give you, and take heed to it, because I promise that they're there to help. There are so many people on campus. They're there. They want to help you and make sure that they equip you to be ready for the real world.
So it sounds like they have several academic services for the students. What
Yes.
about a student that mental health service? Because there are some students that are going through so many. In this day and time, our youth is going through a lot, and they leave home from mom and dad security, and they go off to campus, and it's hard for them to adjust. Do you have is there mental health counselors on campus for those students?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We do have a mental health center where you can sign up, and it's free, and you can speak with a
Okay.
therapist, and they will meet with you whenever you have an available time on your schedule. That was one thing that I didn't know about, and they told us, but I wasn't listening. I probably was talking. But yeah, that we do have that. I do know a few friends who they had the chance to take heed to that, and it helped them a lot. So that is there for you. Absolutely.
Share some of the Bulldog history and some of the things that the history and traditions on campus.
So I will say one of the biggest things that we do have, well, of course, would be homecoming. Homecoming is a big thing.
Yes. Yes,
Uh,
it is.
every October, in a certain week, you can come and the whole campus is filled with Bulldog family. Everybody is just enjoying each other. And we have different events during that time. Another big event that we talk about, and that's in February. That's with the Orangeburg Massacre. Um,
Yes.
what I love about it is it teaches us history about right in Orangeburg of civil issues that we had in that time period. Because growing up in school, we heard nothing about it. We heard nothing.
Right.
So that's something else that we don't want to say celebrate, but we memorialize and think about every time that comes around. Um, there's
One of
so
the one of those students, Mr. Smith, was my student teacher
wow,
before before he lost his life at the massacre. Yeah, he was at Wilmore High School here in Conway.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
tell
love
me,
I'm a history
excuse
major, so
me.
I love stuff like this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, state has a lot of history. So let me ask you this. Um, I'm sure you might be familiar with Roland Martin, but he's always on HBCU's alumni for not making contributions to the campuses. He said they'll dress up for homecoming, but they don't send any money back. So is the alumni at South Carolina State, are they very functional? I mean, are they very active on campus?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The alum of South Carolina State, there's some. I love it though. They're always ready to go and go heavy for the cause of the university. I promise you that. Every time I go to an event to recruit, they always make sure they show up and support, but they always say, "Now make sure you do right by university."
Okay, that's great. So students that attend South Carolina State, are they there on campus for 4 years, or can they live off campus? How does housing work for students?
So you don't have to be on campus. I mean, but we push for you to be on campus. I feel like it's a part of the experience.
Yes.
We do have residence halls that are on the campus. Right now, we do have for freshmen, female freshmen, we have Truth Hall, which is the history moment, which is the tallest building in Orangeburg. We have Williams Hall. We have also when you go upperclassmen, you have not Nick's, but Houdini, which is community style living, and then you have University Village, which is across the street. For freshman male, we have Mitchell Hall, we have Batiste Hall, we have Earl Hall. Mitchell and Earl Hall are like community. They're the regular style, traditional style residence halls. We say traditional because the bathrooms are not inside the rooms; they're in the hallways. So it's community style. Batiste is the only one for freshmen that is suite style living, which means you're in a room with somebody and there's another room in the suite. You have a common area, and the bathroom is inside the suite. Of
Okay.
course, that type of living is going to cost more. Right now, the most expensive freshman halls are Batiste and Truth. But if that, some people like to have that, having the bathroom inside of the suite. So if that's the route you like, you definitely can take that. For the females, they won't have to worry about that. With both of the female halls, the bathrooms are connected to the rooms, so they have it luxury, I want to say. But
Okay. There was a dorm where I guess students that scholar students, I think they had their own dormitory, but their GPAs had to be a certain, I guess a 3.5 or 4 in order to live there. Does that still exist on campus?
so that's Batiste Hall. That's
Okay.
that's Batiste Hall. So they're still putting Batiste Hall. If they're part of Honors College, they live
Okay.
so yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is there for them to do? What's in Orangeburg? It's a student coming in to South Carolina State University. Orangeburg is a fairly small town. I mean, it's not small, but it's a fairly small town compared to Columbia. So what can the children or students do in that city as during the school year? Is there
So
anything that Orangeburg offer the students, in other words?
so not much at the moment. A lot of the things that were there, they kind of closed down. But that's been something that not only students but people in the community have been working with Mayor Butler about. And so I know they have plans that they put in place that they're going to start building up things around Orangeburg to help out college students, for them to have something to do.
Oh, okay. So
Right now, there's not really much.
what's the biggest academic focus on SCSU? And is there a STEM program available for students?
I would say the biggest programs, of course, would be engineering. Anything
Okay.
engineering that's big, heavy on our campus. The anything under biology is
Mm,
big. Speech path pathology is a great program. All anything under education from early childhood all the way up to secondary. Social work is another good one. Criminal justice is another good one.
okay.
We have there's a good bit of them there, but those are the biggest ones that you see a lot of people come. Anything under business is
Oh,
another. So marketing, entrepreneurship, accounting, those are going to be your heavy ones as well. Most students come for that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we do not have nursing.
Oh, okay.
A lot of students ask me that we don't have nursing. So if you did come, you would have to get your degree in biology pre-med, and then you would transfer somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay. Now, we just mentioned earlier about the SAT scores. Does SCSU have a bridge program? Let's say a student that's liking, he may score not so well on the SAT, and really his GPA is not that well either. But some colleges offer a bridge program where they can come in, do an enrichment during that summer, and then can go into the freshman academics. Is that something that your college does, or?
Currently, we do not have it.
Okay.
Currently, we
Okay.
don't have it. If a student is kind of lacking or something, maybe the student may so if the GPA is a 2.0, maybe the student has a 1.9 or 1.8. The only thing that we could push for the student to do is to go over that summer before you get to school. Try to get to school
Yes.
and take a class that you know that you can transfer over, and then that way we can admit you in that way.
How accessible is administrators and the registrars and the financial aid council? How accessible are they to the students on campus?
So they're doing well. They are I always say you want to make sure that you want to make sure that you have your stuff in order. That's how I was always raised and taught. Before you go before people, make sure you have your stuff in order. So I mean, you can't go before administrators and all these people and you don't have your stuff together and you want them to work a miracle. So
Exactly.
yeah, just making sure you have your stuff in order and you'll be fine.
Okay, sounds great. So, are most of the classes taught by professors or teaching assistants? There are a lot of some campuses have a lot of teaching assistants, and the professors kind of sitting on the sidelines. But does that occur at South Carolina State?
So most of the classes, all of the classes are with professors, and the classes are not big. So the student to teacher ratio is probably going to be maybe 16 to 1 or 17 to 1. It may be a little bigger in your business classes, the beginning business classes, but outside of that, the classes are not big at all. So you can be comfortable, raise your hand, ask a question. It won't be a huge class.
Okay. So I'd like to tell my viewers, if you have any questions or comments, please post so that Matthew can give you an answer. Okay. So cars allowed on campus now? I know at one point freshmen couldn't have cars on campus. Has that changed?
So they've been very lenient, but they're not
Okay.
supposed. The freshmen are not supposed to. The only way freshmen are allowed to drive is if it's a medical deal or if they have a job that they have to travel back home to, stuff like that, and they have to have a letter that's approved by campus police when they go handle that. But they can't just drive and say, "I'm a freshman, I want to drive." That won't work.
Okay. Give us an idea of what it's like of the first year as a freshman on SCSU campus.
You see what HBCU culture is. You see what it means to be around Black excellence. You see what it means
Yes.
to be around family. Um, Even though you're leaving your blood family at home, you come to a place where you're around your own. Everybody is pushing you to be the best. They're trying to expose you to greater, to bigger things, so that you can grow mentally. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I believe it's a great experience. The HBCU experience is a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
If I could go back, I would. God knows I would.
And I agree wholeheartedly with you. It is a good experience. So tell me, how did the school handle graduation during COVID-19? And what are the plans for the coming fall?
So what they did was a few weeks ago they did a virtual graduation. All students had to send in a picture of them in their cap and gowns, and they did a virtual graduation. They were offered the opportunity if they want to walk in person, they can come back and participate in the December graduation.
Okay. Okay. hopefully everything will be well in December. Because
Hopefully,
do y'all plan to reopen in August?
yes, yes, ma'am. So I know returning students they're coming back on campus August 10th.
Okay. So that's the day for my birthday. So let me ask you, um, I lost my train of thought. Do y'all have do courses? Can students study abroad from South Carolina that attend South Carolina State?
Yes, absolutely.
And and what are some of the programs available for abroad?
That's gonna be we have a certain department for that, but they have I don't know specifically the classes
Okay.
that they have to take, but they have been traveling. I know recently, I think they were supposed to go to Japan this past
Okay.
semester, but that was stopped. I know before then they've gone to Greece, they've gone to Paris, but yeah, they do
Okay.
have it available. I know a lot of friends who, through that program, they went and taught over there across seas. So it's a great
Oh,
program.
great. Do you have employers looking out, seeking graduates from SCSU, from the
Yes,
industry? Yeah, corporations, attorney offices, do they reach out to any of your students?
absolutely. I've spoken to one lady recently. She works in human resources. She said, "I don't know what you all do with your students at SC State, but she said they come ready." She said they know how to
Okay.
handle interviews, and she was like, "If you ever know of any graduate that wants to come into the certain field that she was talking about, she said, please let me know." So that's the
Oh,
one thing.
great.
That's the one thing that you'll get when you come to the university. Like I said, they will equip you and make sure you are ready for when you leave the university. We just have that name already that people know. If they're getting ready to interview a student, then the student is from SC State. This is going to be a
Right. So football, I know
yes,
you have recruiters.
yes.
Right. So what's the process there? How involved is admissions with a young man who's going to play football at SDSU? Is that with the coach? How involved admission is, or is that part of the process that the coach handles?
The coach handles. Some students I run into and they do want to play, and so what I do is when they do the application, I'll send their name over to the coaches. But most of the times, the coaches are already going around to recruit and see who they're looking to recruit onto the team. Um,
Right.
but if I run into somebody who wants to play, I definitely, after they do the application, I send a name and everything over to the coaches so that they know.
So how was the team last year?
So the team last year was wonderful. We ended up having to share. They won, but we had to share the MEAC with A&T.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
we lost with them, so both SC State and A&T are the MEAC champs. So we're looking forward to the team coming back and even doing greater. Um, for all of the students out there that want to know about football, the football team is sports in general. They are Division One. We're part of the MEAC, which is a branch off of. It's a branch off, which it branch off of the NCAA, but it's a Division One, so you still be fine. I always tell
Right.
students. I always tell students all over that ask about the football team. Out of all of the HBCUs in America, there is no HBCU that has more people in the NFL than SC State University. So that alone lets you know how great our program is. It's a wonderful program to be a part of.
It's a great program. It has several professional players from SC State as well. Yeah, I know a few of them. Um, so what's going on with the band now? So now with the band, is that a lot of kids are majoring in band in high school? I guess they have to audition for the band
Yes,
in order to be part of Marching 101.
yes.
Okay.
Before COVID-19, some of our band staff members they were traveling to do auditions at certain schools. I know even with certain fairs that I traveled to, myself and band staff was there. And so while
Okay.
the student could go in one room and audition for them. Then they would come to me and do the application so we can make sure that we would get them in. Um, but yeah, but they've been doing wonderful. They're still growing. Of course, we took a hit years ago when we had to cut budgets all over campus, and so that took a big hit in the band. But they're beginning to grow, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, South Carolina State band that was the school when I was going in high school. We would have auditions there from high schools all over South Carolina. Would go there and audition for a huge concert that would happen on campus, and so they've been very very active since my high school years, and very good at at what they do, and so and a lot of students also ended up at South Carolina State. I think we had a drum major from Conway at South Carolina State. I think he graduated about in the 50s and 60s, so it's been a long time. Yeah. So tell me, what's the population on campus with students?
The population right now is probably sitting maybe over around 2,200 students.
Okay, so it's a big campus.
Sitting around
And
there.
and most students, what's the percentage of graduates?
How, what now?
The percentage of graduates, do we have, does the senior class, do most of those graduate? How many are retained or have to come back for a second year, or do most of your students graduate within a 4.5 year period?
Most of them graduate. I think the new thing is now some people they get out in 5.
5 years, yeah, okay.
Yeah, for certain programs they may push over to 5, but for the most part, majority of everybody gets out in 4.
In 4 years, okay. So, in financial aid, I guess you're not a part of, but they would have to send all information about financial aid would go to the financial aid office, correct? The counselor, they would handle all of that, the mission.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say for financial aid, this is one thing we've ran into for students. And it's not even just with our school. When you do your FAFSA for the new academic year, you want to make sure that you put the school on there that you want the FAFSA to go to.
Right.
You don't want to just do the FAFSA and then the school is not there. They're not informed of it, because then you won't have a financial aid reward. So you want to make sure that you put the school's name and code and all that on there so that the school can get your information, and you'll have a award, not reward, an award waiting for you with everything for your account, all that good stuff.
And Matthew, since they're not taking ACT and SAT scores, I guess you're looking for good academics, good GPAs. Your transcripts will be very important. Yes. So I mean, so you must have all those scores that you just explained earlier. But I would say you're looking at an average of what, 3.0?
The minimum GPA for you to get in is a 2.0.
2.0, okay.
It's a 2.0. But you need a 3.0 or 3.5 and higher for honors college. And of course, that's a way of getting scholarship as well, because they have their scholarships that they help you with as well if you're honors college.
And since they're not, you think they will be offering their own placement tests, since you're not asking for ACT or SAT scores?
I don't know if they'll do that. That just depends on administration.
Okay.
However they see fit to move forward.
Okay. Well, we've covered quite a bit. Is there anything I'm missing that you'd like to share with us?
I think that's everything.
How's your art department? I know you have a nice art department. There was a gallery over in the band room when we toured with students several years ago, and that was a nice gallery of art. Yes, so the art department's coming along.
I just had a friend who graduated from the art department, and he had the chance to send over 2 of his products overseas. One went to Spain, one went to Greece, and they were over there in a gallery for months.
Oh wow!
So yeah, great program. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, sounds great. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming and joining me this afternoon and with the viewers. I would like to tell our viewers that to you can go online to educateouryouth.info to read about our program and what we offer. You can join us on Facebook to symbol at Educate Our Youth Info all together. Or you can reach us at 843, I'm sorry, you can reach us at mkabed001@gmail.com. Matthew, it's been a joy having you this afternoon.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you've been very informative, and I really appreciate you sharing the time with us.
Thank you.
You have a good evening.
You too.
All right.